All right. So we're back for another episode of Automotivated, and I am here with Frank Dragoni. It has been so long since I've actually seen you. It's great to see you.
I know. I mean, not being in the office and working remotely, not getting to see the whole team, it's kind of sad. But the times have dictated the precautions we need to take. So we are a technology company, so we can work from home. That's the great thing, and
Yep.
still be effective and still service our customers and still make a difference in this industry.
Yeah, we're lucky compared to a lot. And it looks like you have a beautiful surrounding behind you. So it looks like the workspace is working for you.
Well, I've been working on my back patio. That way, I'm not driving the family crazy as I spend my whole life on the phone.
hmm
So today it's great. Today's been the nicest day because I'm in the shade. It's not too hot and humid. The last couple of days have been miserable, and I've
hmm
actually trekked back into the house at some point.
There you go. There you go. That's all you need. But today, we actually have a really interesting topic that we were talking about right before we logged on here. And it was actually something that was inspired from a Ratchet and Wrench article some time ago. And it's the whole idea of capacity versus capability and really what those two mean. So what are some of your thoughts on this when it comes to how to scale the capacity of your technicians, which are really the heartbeat of your business?
Yeah, I mean, one, as a shop owner, we really have to understand what is our business. What are we selling every month? What percentage of our work is break work? What percentage is diagnostic? How much is maintenance related? If we're more of a maintenance related shop where we're selling a lot of oil changes and filters and flushes, you don't need an A-level technician to perform those tasks. So, so really it's you have to understand the makeup of what you're selling every month. And then there's a few ways to do that, right? Our shop management systems allow us to do that if we have them configured properly. And that's always been the tough part is we get a shop management system. It does a lot of those things for us, but we have to have it set up properly.
hmm
So training on how to use your shop management system is essential. And, wherever you buy that shop management system from whatever partner you work with, you really need to lean on them to make sure you have it set up properly. And if it's not set up properly, even the bolt-on software doesn't work as well as it should be because our software is talking to the shop management system. And we piggyback and use a lot of the business rules in someone's shop management system or point of sale system, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing is really understand what is your monthly makeup of sales? Is it diagnostic? Is it maintenance? Is it brake related? Now, when you really understand what you're selling, now you can understand, do you have the team to perform those tasks? If you're 50% diagnostic work, but you only have one A-level tech that can do diagnostic, it's going to cause a lot of grief, right?
Sure.
So either we need to train other people and get them better training. Maybe we need to hire another technician, which is obviously where a lot of shops are today. They would love to find another technician, and they're hard to find. But understanding what you're selling and if your team can do it. So that's the key.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, so many people are just worried about, all right, do I have the bay space? Do I have the proper equipment? Do I have the proper team? But then a lot of what, specifically our technology, but just technology in general, it really helps to expand on what your current team can do and the processes that you build and the efficiency of really each team member. What are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, and with the bolt-on technology, right, it's really designed to do two things, first and foremost. And this is what all shops would love to see. Can I fill my bays more? Do I have increased car count every day, right? There's no open spots on our calendar. We are at max capacity.
Mhm.
Now, once the car comes in, can we maximize our sales effort, right? Can we perform a digital inspection? If our average ticket value is $400, can we make it greater, right? How do we get it to $500? How do we get to $600? And that's where the digital inspection comes in. When performed properly and you're showing the customer what's wrong with their vehicle and you're educating the customer and you're building better relationships and you're more transparent, that sales effort will become much easier.
Sure.
Now, once you sell a lot more, now we have to make sure, can we handle that work? And what kind of work is it? Is it more maintenance related, which is easy to deal with, right? Everyone in the shop can handle changing filters and performing flushes and doing alignments. But if we're running into a lot, like I said, I keep going back to diagnostic work, electrical work, things that are a little more technical. You know, are we a specialty shop that handles maybe foreign cars, Toyota, Nissan? You know, that's a whole different skill set. So, but the technology that we provide will help increase car count, will help drive an average ARO, but it doesn't help the shop or the technician on how to fix the car, right? That's not what we're designed to do. So they kind of go hand in hand. And like I said to you earlier, we can drive all this business, and if we're not prepared for it, it can also cause a little bit of grief. Now, those are good growing pains or good problems to have, right? We have more work than we can handle. We'd much rather have that than have not enough.
Sure. Yep. And I think it's always that balancing act. As soon as you get a little bit more ahead, then you have to either build the new team, get the new equipment, different things along those lines. So it's, I think, really understanding that balancing act, but then also making sure that there's consistent education and consistent training, so that way your team is performing, like you had said, to the level that they need to for these specific specialties.
Yeah, I mean, listen, training is huge, and that should be our main focus in the shop, whether it's training our technicians on different levels of work and services and getting them more education, getting them the hours of training they need. Is it training on how to use our point of sale system, which is kind of our cash register every day? Is it training on how to use the bolt-on technology software better? I mean, I know we're big about training. We provide a university class. We do those about 6 times a year, whether we do them in our office outside of Philadelphia, you know, or we take it on the road. Now, with COVID, obviously, we haven't done those this year.
Been a little
Our
bit
goal
on
is
a halt.
hopefully, yeah. So the goal is hopefully after the first of the year, we can kind of get back on track. But training is huge, and we just, as shop owners, as managers, we have to make it a priority. You know, a lot of times I hear, well, I can't join your webinars because we're busy at the shop. Well, if we're doing webinars at lunchtime and we give our webinar schedules laid out 2 months ahead, plan accordingly, right? Bring staff in, allow someone to have that hour to go sit uninterrupted into a conference room or a lunchroom and eat their lunch and watch a webinar. We just have to plan better.
Exactly. And I think people need to look at that as an investment too. So this isn't just an hour out of their day that they're losing. This is education, training, and knowledge that's going to transcend you with a lot of the things that we've just been talking about to really add to the capacity that your shop can handle.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is a relationship business. You know, as managers, service writers, owners, we're interacting with the vehicle owner, the customers, right? Our folks up front don't have to know every in and out about fixing a car, right? The people at the counter, really what they're designed to do is just be people persons and build relationship with customers. And when you make an experience so much more welcoming for a customer, they're going to want to come back. And that's the key. And I always put myself in that situation. I don't know anything about fixing a car. I can give you the basics. But what I do know is people. And if I was to work on the counter at a repair facility, I could build relationships. And if a customer had a technical question about their vehicle I couldn't answer, well, I might have 4 or 5 technicians in the back that I could just go grab one of those folks, bring them up front, introduce them to the customer, let them answer the technical questions, and think about what kind of experience that is for the customer. Now the customer is getting the attention of the technician who worked on their car, as well as myself as kind of the liaison, and that is a rewarding experience.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think the more value that people put on the relationship and the loyalty that that establishes, the more that they're going to expect out of their business and the lifespan of that customer.
Yeah, we always talk about, I mean, think about the 2 places that people hate to go the most are the dentist and the auto repair shop.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you go to an auto repair shop, you have the thought that you might be going to be taken for a ride, especially if you're going for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't know the people you're dealing with. All of a sudden, you go in for that oil change, or maybe a checkout before you're going on vacation. You think you're going to spend $100. You get the phone call and, hey, Shana, your car needs $1,000 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh boy.
Yep.
And it's a brand new experience, right? It's a brand new set of people you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, do I trust them? Do I not trust them? And that's where the digital vehicle inspection's been huge, right? Because now we can show photos of what's wrong. The people can see the actual parts on their car. And that will kind of take away some of the friction.
For sure.
One of the other things we've really focused on in the last, and this was even pre-COVID, is we've gone to kind of a touchless checkout system.
Mm-hmm.
So once the car is finished, the shop, electronically, they can send an invoice to the vehicle owner. The customer now can pay before they come back in. Now, why is that a good thing? Well, what I teach with the shop owners is you get one conversation at the end of the day with the customer when they pick up their vehicle. And you have a very small amount of time. And if the customer does not pay before they come in, it's all about the dollars and cents.
Mm-hmm.
And you never get to talk about maybe the things the customer didn't get performed today. Maybe the customer has a future appointment. You don't get to talk about any of those things, which now hurts a shop on getting that customer to come back for that next visit.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could take the payment out of the way and the car is already paid for at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, when the customer comes back in to get their vehicle, and now we have that 1 or 2 minutes with the customer, now it becomes more of an educational process, right? The friction's out of the way. The customer paid. And we can talk about it and say, hey, Shana, those brakes, they're okay now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something you definitely want to, take a look at in the next 60 days. Why don't we get an appointment set up for, October 1st?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're kind of setting yourself for success, right? You're guaranteeing that the customer's going to come back for another visit. And one of the biggest things that we figured out is the average vehicle owner is getting their car serviced 3 or 4 times a year, right? Whether it be tires or oil changes or whatever it may be. But unfortunately, at our shops, we only see that customer about 1 to 1.5 times per year. So as shop owners, we're missing out on a visit or 2 visits. And why is that happening? Well, one, we don't take a proactive approach to get the customer to come back. We just hope they come back. And that's where this touchless payment system will help us get customers back. And 2, think about it. You go get an oil change, Shane, and they put a sticker in your windshield. Now, how often do you pay attention to that?
Not very often.
No,
I've been caught way too many times.
Sure. And listen, we're in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually we take a peek up at it. We realize we're past due for our oil change. And kind of a panic sets in.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? That's why there's a million quick lube centers. We drive down to the quick lube center, we jump in, we get the oil change. That is a visit the shop just lost out on.
Mm-hmm.
So, better preparation, better exit scheduling. I like to call it the kiss goodbye. Not that we're kissing our customers goodbye,
Mm-hmm.
but you're setting yourself up for success. You're setting yourself up for the next visit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is huge. Exit scheduling is one of the most important things for a shop's business.
Mm-hmm. And again, that just really hits on the point, bringing it full circle, is that this technology is giving the people not only in your bays, but the people right behind your front desk, the capacity to build those relationships more, because we have tools on the back end that are helping to secure payments, that are helping to remind people about their appointment, so you can really focus on that relationship and that loyalty. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And for everybody who's going to be watching this, we're going to be back in another 2 weeks for our next topic. So if you have any questions or any input on what this topic was today, make sure you comment below, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much, Frank.
Thanks, Shane. It was great seeing everyone.
Always. Bye-bye.